And we are live. Welcome back, everyone, to Behind The ToolBelt episode 299. I am your host, Ty Cobb Backer, and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday edition that we are actually streaming on Friday live. We will be back after our short intro from our sponsors.
Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. TC Backer, TC Backer.
Is your lead flow down? Whether you're a company owner, office staff, salesperson, or installer, you're a roofing rock star. We help you get more leads with custom SEO, Google Ads, and a pro website.
Welcome to Behind the ToolBelt, where the stories are bold, the conversations are real, and the insights come to you live, raw, and uncut. Every week, host Ty Cobb Backer sits down to bring you the stories, the struggles, the lessons learned, and the wins. No filters, no scripts, just the truth. Please welcome your host of Behind the ToolBelt, Ty Cobb Backer.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, and happy Friday. Happy Friday. I bet you were all concerned that we weren't going to do the show this week. Well, we are, and here we are, and I like Fridays. Fridays are good. Fridays are usually a good start to the weekend, getting ourselves prepared for Monday. It gives us a couple extra days there to get the week started, and I know I'm finishing off the week strong here. Hopefully you guys are as well. I had the opportunity on Monday to get poured into from some entrepreneurs from some different industries. And then I actually had the privilege to reciprocate the same to them. You know, I got to pour into some entrepreneurs, and big shout out to Tony Watley and the 365 Driven Mastermind Group, coaching, all that good stuff. So Tony, thank you for hosting such an amazing event on Monday. I know I got a lot out of it. I know I'm charged. I'm still suffering a little bit from jet lag. But it was well worth it. It was definitely one of those events that I couldn't afford not to attend. And now I'm ready to pour into our team. And now that Tony has my cup fulleth, how do you say that? Full. We'll go with full. So anyhow, now that I'm done being deliberate here, I want to also remember to plug our golf tournament. Big shout out to Steven Spence, Swing for Recovery. I believe this is his third annual Swing for Recovery. It is a charity event for roofers in recovery, which is a nonprofit. I believe like a 401c, one of those things. I know that Kimberly and Paul Reed have worked their butts off, and Erico and a few other people that sit on the board over there, to open up a rehab facility in Colorado. It's called Hope in the Valley. So I know it used to cost about $15,000 to send somebody to rehab. I'm not sure what that cost is, even though that was several years ago. It's probably still the same price, even though they have their own rehab now. And it's devoted and dedicated to those of us in the roofing industry, in the space. If anybody in our space is suffering from alcoholism or drug abuse or anything like that, please do not hesitate to reach out to one of us, and we'll see if we can't find you some help. So anyhow, back to our episode here, Behind the ToolBelt. What's up, everybody? Good to see you, and welcome back to Behind the ToolBelt. Today marks a milestone for us. It is episode 299. I need to pause, and let that sink in for a second. 299 episodes, 299 weeks of showing up, turning on the mic and having conversations with you all about business, leadership, mindset, and life. If you've been with us on this journey from day one, you are family. And if you're just now tuning in for the first time, welcome to the crew. You picked a great episode to start with because today we're going deep on something that I think every leader, every business owner, parent, and quite honestly, every human needs to hear right now. Okay. And here's what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about staying focused on the 90%. That's right. Instead of letting the 10% that's going wrong take all the attention. We're going to talk about running, running instead of running from the problem, but running towards the problem, because those obstacles that we're facing, they're not roadblocks. They're the road. And I'm kind of getting sort of this topic a little bit from a book that I read a long time ago, which I should probably dive back into, but it's called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. This is going to be a very real conversation. It's kind of where I'm at. And typically each week that we do these things, the topics that I come up with isn't something I just kind of randomly pull out of my ass. It's my experiences. It's where I'm at. It's where I've been. It's where I want to go or where I'm going and the things that I'm trying to avoid, and really just sharing my experience, strength, and hope on kind of where I'm at. So because, I've got problems too. You do. We all do. Because I've learned that where I put my focus determines the energy of my company, my team, my family. So today I want to unpack that with you. And because we're live, I want to hear from you in the comments. Let me know what's one thing that's going right for you right now. Let's celebrate those wins together. And I'm going to call it, let's start with the idea, 90-10 rule. Okay. I'm sure you've heard of the 80-20 rule. It's the Pareto principle. 20% of the work produces 80% of the results. This is similar, but like thinking of it as the 90-10, because in most of our lives, most of the time, 90% of the things are actually going well. But where do we put our focus? And again, this is my experience, what I've experienced. I get fixated on the 10%. That one team member isn't getting it. That one customer who left a bad review. That one job site where things went sideways. And if we're not careful, we can let that 10% eat up the 100%, eat up 100% of our energy. Okay. So I've had situations where, customers left a bad review. We've had weeks where, or days where, we do, multiple projects and they went smoothly. Installs went smooth. Customers happy. Crew's on time. Everything's tight. And then we had one roof where the crew ran into a problem. The materials were delayed. The customer wasn't happy. And guess what? My brain wanted to focus. Guess what my brain wanted to focus on? Right? It wanted to focus on that one problem, not the 9 other projects that we might have had going on. That one problem consumed me. And look, we had to fix it. But if I stayed there too long, I forgot that the other 9 families are thrilled. The 9 crews did excellent work. The 9 team members are out there feeling good about what they delivered. The challenge is to fix the problem and then reshift your energy back to the 90% that's working so you can keep building momentum. So drop in the chat. Okay. What's something in your business, in your life, at home, or your department that's going right now, big or small? Maybe a new hire that is crushing it. Maybe a process, got fixed. maybe you hit your sales goal this week. Let's give that 90% some attention and let's celebrate that thing together. Okay. So talk about the 10%. Let's not run from the 10%. That doesn't mean we run from the 10%. Okay. Running towards the 10% instead of away from it. Okay. Here's the temptation. When something feels hard, we avoid it. I mean, I think that's just the thing that us human beings avoid: uncomfortability. Okay. The tough, that we avoid that, tough conversation with a team member, that systems that, the part of the system that's broken, that might take the whole week to fix, that relationship that's strained and uncomfortable. Our brains want to stay safe and comfortable. And we hope it goes away. We hope it works itself out. But the issue is that in most cases, it never does. So there's a phrase that comes in. Okay. The obstacle is the way. It comes from Ryan Holiday's book, by the same name. The obstacle is the way. And it really is rooted in Stoic philosophy. The idea is that things that stand in the way is your way. They're not there to stop you. It's there to shape you. If you lean into it, okay, and I'm guilty of this. I want to run from pain. I don't like discomfort. I want to be warm and cozy and snuggled on the couch and eating Cheetos. But I can't always do that. That's not fixing the issues. And right now, kind of where I'm at, and again, I'm sharing with you my experience because I am of that, stay focused on the 90%. This is happening for us. I get to do this. I don't have to do this, but I get to, I try to, Vic and I were having a conversation a few weeks ago, and, I don't like change. And when change happens, good or bad, and I'm speaking in terms of good change, Janet and I got to experience something. She kept asking me, do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like it? And I wanted to say, no, it sucks. I think this sucks. And before I got to say that, I actually got to think about, why am I thinking that this sucks? So instead of saying this sucks, because I didn't want to take the wind out of her sails, because I could also see that she was enjoying the experience that we got to participate in. And I was like, you know what? It's different, and by me just saying that it's different, I could actually see through the change and see the potential benefits. I know me. And if I would have said that it sucked, I would have stayed stuck and wouldn't have been able to see through the suck part to realize how beneficial this will be for her, myself, and our family. But I decided to say, and she kind of looked at me funny, because even though I said it's different, it wasn't necessarily the response that she was looking for, because I think she was waiting for me to say, like, this is amazing. But me being a human being, and a human being that doesn't like change, I wasn't down for a second, but I didn't want to solidify it by voicing that it sucked. I wanted to say, I didn't, and I didn't want to fake it either. You know what I mean? Because she would have knew that if I would have said, oh, this is great, she'd have knew right away. And I might as well have said that this sucked. But I decided to say, it's different. It's different. She asked me 2 or 3 other times, and I might have said it was different again. But I think because I already set myself on that path of trying to look through it for a minute and really play the tape the whole way through and realize, what, this is awesome. I really like this. I do. And sometimes, I sabotage myself. I guess that was the word that I was looking for. I'll sabotage myself right away, and I will cut myself off. I will block myself off with just a thought of this sucks, and not give myself the opportunity to actually see the benefits of how, yes, it's uncomfortable right this second. It's different. It's change. I don't understand it. I don't know how to use it yet. So by me just saying it's different, but in a positive note, that it's different. So That's my spiel on, try to have, we have, I think, 15,000 thoughts a day. And I want to say at least 50% of them are negative thoughts about ourselves, telling ourselves that we can't do it. We can't move forward. I don't know how I'm going to handle this. And I don't know about you, but when I have days like that, shit, I even dream weird shit and I'll wake up in a funk. And I think a lot of that has to do with my train of thought, my paradigm, my outlook on things. And I'll talk myself right into a bad day in a minute, in a minute. And I don't know about you guys, but I am sick and freaking tired of having shitty days, and it's a choice. It's a choice. It literally is a choice. And you can start your day over as many times. Things are going to come at you. You're going to have bad days, bad weeks, bad months. Shit. You could potentially even have a bad year. But how we handle it, I believe, is what defines us. Okay. If we run, we flee, we freeze. It's how we suit up and show up and get through situations that truly, it's not the situation that defines us, it's how we handle it. So ultimately, if you go through that pain, okay, ultimately you will get where you want to go, I guess was the point. So I've had a seasons where, things I had to do, like restructure teams. I had to let people go. People that weren't a good fit, or overhaul processes, right? Overhaul processes that we had used for years. Okay. Very uncomfortable stuff. I didn't want to do it, but those hard choices are the reason we're standing here today at episode 299 episodes with a company that's growing, a culture that's strong, and a team that's thriving. Okay. So what's one hard thing, okay, that you've been putting off? I want you to put it in the comments. You don't have to name any names if it's sensitive, but put something in the comments. Maybe it's that conversation with a team member, or finally getting your books organized, or calling that client that has been upset. Put it out there, say it out loud. I think a problem shared is problem cut in half. Right? Say it out loud is the first step to running towards it. Okay. But we can also make the good stuff better. Okay. Who's all in here? I'm actually on the TC Backer thing. I don't know. I can see everybody's. I see Ben going right today is another opportunity. Let me see what's Benjavitamin got to say here. Wait for it to pop up here. Oh, you guys must be over on the Behind The ToolBelt page. Man, there it is. Okay. So going right. Today is another opportunity to get better than yesterday. Additionally, growing the mindset that discipline equals freedom. Absolutely. Discipline, consistency, right? Just being consistent, consistently working out, consistently, eating right, consistently, even when you don't see the change, other people start to see it before you do. Notice that. Just keep suiting up and showing up. Okay. So here's the next step. Once you've run towards the problem, okay, and dealt with it, got to deal with it. Okay. Now go make the good stuff even better, right? Some people say, well, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Yeah, maybe no. Yeah, maybe no. Okay. We can always level up. Okay. This is how you build a winning culture. All right. You celebrate what's working and you raise the bar. Okay. If your team is doing a great job in with sales and they're following up, teach them to do it faster. Okay. We can get better. We can get faster. We can plug another job in this week. We can pick up the velocity always. And that's why we track everything. And if we don't, we're working on it. We're working on being able to track everything so we can improve the process. Some people might think, well, it's not broke. Why do we got to fix it? Why? So we can create more opportunities, so we can generate more revenue, so we can pay for the marketing, so we can buy nice things and have trucks and billboards and all the things. And we want to pump things out quicker, faster, easier, because we live in an Amazon world and we have to understand that. we have to understand that everyone else is also living in an Amazon world. So we're trying to make this as seamless as possible, from when they call us to when we pick up the phone to when we book that appointment to how quickly they get their estimate. Unfortunately, Amazon has shifted our complete total culture on how the world operates today. Okay. You can simply get on your phone, order whatever you want, and ship it wherever you want. You can get on your phone. Okay. If you don't drive, you don't even have to drive today. If you're working, I guess you can afford an Uber. It's simply an app on your phone. You know where they're at, how far away they are, and who's the guy, the person's name, the color of the car, and all. I mean, that's just a world that we live in today. It's a digital, fast-paced, moving. And if you're not keeping up with the times, if you're not keeping up with the homeowner standards of what they become accustomed to, you're going to get left behind. So when your parent or your boss or someone is pushing you to do better, it's because they see the bigger picture. They see what's happening in the world today. And unfortunately, a lot of this stuff is very uncomfortable. Most people just want to show up, get a paycheck, and go home. But unfortunately, because of that type of mentality, it's holding the rest of us back to keep up with the rest of the world. And that's a completely different podcast in itself that we could talk about. You know what I mean? Like, people just they don't get it. Like, move your ass. Let's go. You're holding everybody back. Whether it's financially or time wise. And it's like your time, you're taking too much time, and it's messing with my time, and time I can't ever get back. And neither can a homeowner's time. So are we going to continue to waste homeowners' time? Or are we going to speed this shit up a little bit, get it done, get out of their life so we can go on with ours and impact somebody else's life, and as many lives as we possibly can in a day's, in a week, in a month, in a year's time. So anyhow, if your team is doing a great job, celebrate that with them, right? But we also need to teach them to be faster and more creative. We got to get more creative with it. If our jobs are going well, find one small tweak, okay, that makes that even smoother. If your marketing is working, double down on what's working and amplify it. It's really that simple, right? You find something that works, modify it, duplicate it, document it. Okay, so 2 things. That helps build morale. It really does. Your team sees that I've noticed, right? And that I value what it is that they're doing. It creates a standard of excellence. Okay. And this is something that I've been standing in front of my pedestal, or whatever the hell this thing is called, my soapbox, and have been screaming, standard of excellence and streamlining things and making the process easier. It's not because I'm a dick and I want to push you. It's because that's what our clientele expects. A standard of excellence, and get that shit done as affordably and as quickly as I possibly can, because we live in an Amazon world today. And if you're not keeping up, you're going to get left behind. We are going to get left behind. It's an AI world we live in today, bro. You know what I'm saying? It truly is. Right. And people start to expect improvements. Okay. I don't want to rest on my laurels. I don't want to think how we got here and we can continue to keep doing it that way to get where we all want to go. Right. So we got to think a little bigger. Got to think a little brighter. We got to think a little further. And that's my job. My job is to think further, faster, quicker than anybody else in the room. That's my job today. And to keep this shit on the rails. And sometimes that can be a lonely, that could be, what did I say a couple of weeks ago? It was, heavy is the head that wears the crown. At times it can be the most fulfilling, rewarding job, but you can't be lazy. If you want to consider yourself an actual leader, your job is to pour into your team. It becomes no longer about you. Your paycheck is no longer provided by you. It is provided by those that are in your charge, that you are leading. And I don't know how much more clearly I can state that. Your paycheck is no longer provided by you. It comes from all of those that you lead. which means you have to pour into them, which means you actually have to work harder. And if you're not capable of doing that job for one reason or another, because you're not studying or you're not actually listening to what people are trying to tell you, or you're not doing things to better yourself in order to better other people, then maybe you're not fit to be a leader. It's not about the notoriety. It's not that I arrived and, hey, look at me and I have the authority and I have the right to be a dick. I have the right to take off whenever I please. That's not it. Wrong job. Wrong job. Your job is to improve other people, the quality of other people's lives. And it can be lonely. It can be grueling. You got to grind. You got to hustle. You got to pour into them. And it's okay if leadership isn't for you because you're a self-centered piece of shit and want to come to work and collect a paycheck. That's fine too. Or if you just want to make sales yourself, and not have to worry about anybody else and continue to keep providing for yourself. We need those types of people in this world. We need great salespeople in this world. Just because you're a great salesperson doesn't mean you're a good teacher. Doesn't mean you're a great coach. In my job, honestly, I was thinking about this over the past couple of weeks, is I really want to train and lead and shift the way that people are leading today. Like, that's my responsibility, at least from my experience on what I was taught and what I've learned and what I've read, is that my moral responsibility, obligation, is to lead leaders differently, to teach them how to lead differently than it was in the 80s, where it was all about the numbers. It's all about this and it's all about that. And we're making cuts and we're doing this and we're doing that. If you surround yourself around enough like-minded people, all those things just seem to work out. But if you're in a room full of selfish, self-centered people who think they're leaders, okay, that is the type of environment, that is the type of company that worries about the numbers. If that's all they talk about, okay? And I'm not saying that they're not important. Do not get it twisted. But if everybody's actually doing their job, we don't have to make it about the money. We don't have to have those uncomfortable conversations about the money. But that also means I have to make it clear on what their role is and what their responsibilities are. Okay. And set an expectations, set goalposts, set deadlines, have uncomfortable conversations when they're not met. Okay. But that shouldn't be the focus point of every sales meeting. It should be that you're not pulling your own weight. You're in this for yourself, and we're not down with that. But we can give you grace to work on it. We'll coach you twice, maybe 3 times. If it continues to keep happening, you might have to go because you're not fitting the culture here. So anyhow, most people think improvement is about fixing what's broken. Okay. I'm getting back on topic here a little bit. Sorry, I got off the rails. If you know me, I never do that. I usually stick to the topic pretty well. Just kidding. Maybe. I don't know. I'll get back. Shoo-wee, I know I'm dry. Okay. Most people think improvement is about fixing what's broken. And yes, that is part of it. Okay. But real leaders know you also have to improve what's good. That's where you go from. That's where greatness comes from. That's where you go from good to great. Okay. Anyone's ever read Jim Collins knows exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. So here are some practical things that I've actually just started implementing. Okay. How you can work on this and overcome a few things. Okay. So practically, I just started trying to think what the hell. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart there because I was still thinking about Jim Collins and good to great and all that stuff. Anyhow, so every morning, I started this yesterday morning since I got back. I dive into and I write down 2 things. Okay. The first thing is I write down 3 wins from the day before. Okay. Because I don't want to stay fixated on the 10%. So I got to remind myself there was 3 wins yesterday. They don't have to be huge victories. Okay. They can be as minute, as macro, or as micro. Just write them down. 3 wins from the day before. Okay. Then, just as important. Okay. Get back over here because I like to see what people are saying. Write down one hard thing that I need to run towards today. What is that one uncomfortable conversation that I need to have? What is that one uncomfortable email that I need to send? What is that very uncomfortable, long, drawn out, grueling task that I've been putting off? Okay. That simple practice keeps me focused on the 90% and keeps me moving forward through the 10%. Okay. It keeps me from staying stuck in reaction mode. I've reacted. I've played fireman. I've done all of the things that I feel like I am so busy that I don't have time. Okay. Done that. I've done that. I'm trying to get better at focusing, yes, on the 90%. All the positive affirmations, all of them that we've talked about for years, for 299 weeks in a row. Okay. I say all that shit to myself in the morning. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes I have to review the 3 wins, and it can be as simple as I just woke up. I am vertical and sucking air, because some people actually get the concept and know how valuable life is and health. Without health, you have nothing. Nothing. And we've talked about it before. If you're not taking care of yourself, that is the most selfish, self-centered thing that you could do. Not just for you, but everybody around you. Getting back to, you must work on yourself so you can pour into others if you want to be a leader of your household, a leader of a department, a leader of the company, a leader. And that defines why people are up higher on the organizational chart. If you're wondering why you continuously get pushed back on the organizational chart, ask yourself that question. Am I here to self-serve, or am I here to serve others? It's really that simple. I'm sorry, I keep kind of going back to that, but it kind of plays into it. So one hard thing, because everybody's watching you. As many things as I walk past, people watch me walk past them, I accept unacceptable behaviors. I can't do that. I can't do that anymore. So, like I said, that simple practice helps me stay focused on the 90% of what's going on. All right. It keeps me from getting stuck in that 10%, especially if I'm just simply writing down one thing. Go for it. Write down all 3 things. Write down all 10 things. Whatever you've been procrastinating over, start with the smallest. Start with the most important. However you have to organize that list, just do it. Just do it. I know I'm doing it, and I know I'm over it. And and we're like, oh, I don't want to feel uncomfortable. Well, you feel uncomfortable by procrastinating. Walk through the shit, become a better human being, become more responsible, and stop putting shit off or putting it on to somebody else. I mean, shit, unless you can, delegate it. Maybe you just need help. I mean, that's a freaking concept in itself. Or maybe you just need to push it off on somebody else. So, anywho, so here's your challenge. Okay. As we're going to wrap up episode 299 here. So write down your 90%, what's going right. Okay. Who's doing right. Okay. Celebrate it, share it with your team. Okay. Write down the one hard thing you've been avoiding and take the first step towards fixing it today. Okay. If you do that every day for 1 week, I promise you're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel better about yourself, more focused and more in control. Okay. Because I've been slacking. I'm putting it out there. Okay. Got to hold myself accountable. And maybe you guys will too. Hold me accountable. But most importantly, thank you. Thank you guys. Okay. For being a part of the Behind The ToolBelt family for 299 episodes. You guys are the reason I keep showing up every week. And I'm so grateful for every comment, every DM, and every download that I receive on a daily basis. Okay. If you think this episode hits home, share it with somebody you know who might need to hear this. Post your 90% win on your story. Tag me in it. Okay. I want to celebrate that with you. Okay. And remember, keep your energy on what's working. Keep making the good stuff better and never shy away from the challenges. That's how you grow. Okay. This is Ty Cobb Backer, your Chief Energy Officer, signing off from episode 299 and reminding you the obstacle is the way. Let's go.